There, so just show you a little video of what I get up to first, and a little bit about myself, and then we'll go into some basic sort of principles of survival. And there's a new rule out there now. We say the 10 C's. If we always got the 10 C's with us, or understand the 10 C's, you can survive anywhere in the world, depending on the equipment you've actually got. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on today. I'm going to show you a few examples of 10 C's, some high-end stuff, and also some stuff you can get for £13 at the same time as well. So I've got both sort of principles which are just on here. Oh, it doesn't go any louder.
What's it now? Heater. Heater.
That's one button there. Okay, so as I said there, my name's Pete Allen. I'm an ex-military, done 15-16 years in the army, also a survival instructor in the army at the same time, where I've surfed in Belize, jungles and all over the place my time. Been a scout leader for now 20 years. Hence I saw the logo there. Yeah, been a scout leader for 20 years, which I'm now part of the 16th Nice Sea Scouts. I've been all over the county, sort of over there, do training. I do survival courses and that for the Scout Association as well. And now I'm also a search and rescue team leader for Norfolk Lowland Search and Rescue, and also I've done some work with the mountain rescue team in the past at the same time as well, along with rescue teams in Iraq, which I've done that sort of stuff at the same time. So that's a little bit about me. So it sort of says itself. I've been in survival, I've been in the outdoor sort of pursuits for quite some time now, and these people contacted me a couple of weeks ago to say, can I come down and do something different inside the Green Build event, and to give something, just a little slight change to the norm, sort of on there. So I said I'll come down and do a little bit of a talk for you. So the things I'm looking at today, if this actually works, is what is survival. The problem is that people always get confused with survival and bushcraft. They try to do hand in hand, but they don't. They're two different sort of things. Survival is the ability to sustain life in a difficult situation. That's the textbook definition. So it could be anywhere. You can survive in a house. Yeah, you might not have any money, so that's survival. You're trying to find a way to give ends meet for your family. Or it might be in the woods, plane crash sort of thing. That's survival, trying to fend for yourself again. So that's survival. Where bushcraft is the art of living inside the woods like a woodsman or woods person. Yeah, going down with nature, learning what you've got, how to build big structures. So they're the ones that go out and build big massive shelters and structures and do all this fancy sort of stuff on YouTube. Say, look at me, I can do all this sort of stuff. The survival people are the ones who are building little shelters and sort of things. They're my kids from many years ago. They built a big shelter and they just want to stay inside it. So that is the difference. That's what we need to understand. But today, we need to know what the 3 rules are. So in survival, there are 3 main rules. Are the 3. Yeah, so 3 seconds. Anyone have an idea what in a survival situation what 3 seconds might mean? Any ideas? It takes 3 seconds for an incident. Yeah, if I fell off that, break my leg. Gives you a certain scenario there. That's myself abseiling down from a mountain called Horn inside Switzerland Alps. That was on 1 minute the weather was like we got out here. 2 minutes later, blizzard came over. We had to come down. Abseiled down, pulled the rope down. Found out I was only on 1 strand of rope. Yeah, in your core. When we actually pulled the rope down, it's come over. For another 3-second incident could have happened. We then had to go over a glacier in the dark, trying to jump over because it's white out, trying to jump over things. We could have fallen down. So another 3-second thing. And then when we got to a certain point, big boulder fell down from the rock face, and we could see all the sparks coming down. Yeah, so in the space of 2 hours. All that happened, so anything of these could have caused a survival incident. So you never know when it's going to happen. It's like walking across the roads. They say you're more likely to get hit by a car than you are to get something else happening. So that's the rule of 3. It takes 3 seconds. 3 minutes. That's 3 minutes without air. Yeah, so if you're stuck, so we can go ourselves 3 minutes without air. 3 days with no food.
3 weeks without
Right, so I might say 3 days without water. It's mind blank there. Yes. So 3 seconds for an instant, 3 minutes with no air, 3 days with no water, 3 weeks with no food. Very hard. You need to be quite a robust sort of person to actually go out and do those sort of things. Average person, yeah, myself, I'm a disaster after one day with no food half the time. Yeah, so I need to sustain myself all the way. And so when you talk about survival, it's knowing your own capabilities and what you need to do to survive that as well. And the one we just put on now, which is coming fairly recent, is 3 months, which is 3 months with no socialisation. Yeah, the human brain, they've found in proven studies and that, they need some sort of interaction for 3 months before we start going crazy. Yeah, so the longest person at the moment is done is 87 days. Yeah, sort of recorded by actually through modern technology. He's got the record at the moment. A guy called Zachary Fowler. So then are the 3 rules. So with this, we now look at the 10 C's of survival and the redundancies. So we know what survival is. Every time I go outside, my car is always packed to the 10 C's. When I go walking with my kids and family, I'm always with the 10 C's. When I'm with the scouts or army or with search and rescue, I've always got these 10 C's on me. What they are, they're 10 items or 10 categories of items, all beginning with the letter C. And if you've got each of these 10 items, you can survive anywhere in the world as long as you've got the right equipment. So we're going to look at these as we go through. So the first C is cutting implement. So if I've got, like I always carry on me around these sort of things, if I've got a nice heavy duty knife, full tank, so I can use this as an axe. Yeah, I can also skin things with it. I can gut, I can build, I can craft stuff with a good decent survival knife. I can do practically any job. I can build shelters, I can encourage food, I can collect water, all with one sort of knife. So that would be my first C of choice. But overall, other things, you've also got other things as well. If you've got the space and you're able to carry a little forest axe. It's all about what equipment you've got. So in the car, I don't carry around an axe all the time. Yeah, in the back of my car, I've got a small survival knife in the boot, following UK law. I've also got folding saws. Yes, little pruning folding saws, Laplanders sort of things, and I can saw and process wood. So with a knife, yes, I can do things. With an axe, I can do a lot more. With a saw, even more. So these are called what we call the redundancies. So you've got the first C is my knife. The second lot of C's in cutting is redundancies. But if I've got them, I'm even better to survive. But if I'm not, I've got that one item which I need. Go over there, trip over and fuck us up. The next one is some sort of combustion device. The knife I like to carry has actually got a combustion device in the sheath. Yeah, so if I've got my knife with me, I've also got my combustion device at the same time. So that is one bit of kit, nice and easy. But also, for redundancies, I also carry other bits of fire-light equipment. Yeah, the biggest one, everyone always discounts, is a lighter. I don't smoke. I don't like smokers sometimes, but I do love them when they've got lighters on them. Yeah, because you've always got a way of lighting fire. Yeah, so nice little thing. I've always got that, and I always carry a few little bits of tinder along with me. I've got a spare ferro rod, a decent one. I've got little bits of char cloth, yes, which I teach out on my lesson over there how to do stuff. I've also got bits of wax and all sorts of things which I can make fire. So again, these are the redundancies in which I've got them, but I don't need them on me all the time. As long as I've got a lighter and a small knife, it doesn't have to be a big knife. It could be a little knife, yeah, which we carry on, which is UK legal. Yeah, it's under 3 inches and it folds and it locks. It doesn't lock. So I can have that and carry it anywhere in Norwich if I want. I've got to have a reason to carry it. Yeah, but I can't use it because it folds down. That cost me £1 at Poundland, and I've used that for 3 months solid now. I've sharpened it once since then and it works fine. So you don't need to spend £60–70 on a decent thing. You can get some for £1 and it still works. So you've got a combustion device. The next sort of thing is some sort of cover. Yeah, this could be all singing and dancing tarps. Yeah, this is storm shields. Yeah, so I can hold 4 people inside this, or I might have a tarpaulin. It could be a tent. Yeah, it could also be something simple as a Gore-Tex jacket. Yeah, so it just depends what I'm going out. If I can make a shelter with my jacket, I can also make a backpack with my jacket, which I did with my son in the video a while ago. I turned this into a backpack with my knife. Yeah, and we can carry it over. So if you've got some sort of cover, because if you're in a summer day, it could be a sun hat. You know, you might think I need cover for a sun hat. In the winter time, woolly jackets and things like that. So it's all about it's looking at what you're going, where you're going, to work out are you going to be able to survive, or are you going to have an incident when you're coming over there. The next thing is some sort of container. Yeah, this is to hold your water and that inside. Preferably, if it's going to be a water bottle, it wants to be metal, because you can put the metal inside a fire, but it doesn't want to be an insulated metal container, because they have 2 layers, and it will just crack and damage your water bottle inside. If you haven't got a metal water bowl, you can have a metal container, like I've got here. I can place my metal container on the fire, and then I can let that cool down and transfer that into the water. Here we've got on here a plastic bottle, which I'll then cut open, because I've got a metal container as well, so cut open and turn that into a water filter. Yeah, so there's all those different things to think about. How am I going to do things? There might be a small backy tin, which you can make water, boil water for those sort of things at the same time. If you're going walking in the woods and things like that, you're going to have a water bottle that with you anyway, for some sort of sustained water. Or I do a lot of foraging. I do a lot of videos where I go out with hardly anything, with a knife, and I look what people are throwing away. Yeah, I find bottles, I find cups on the floor all over the place, and I utilise that, clean them up, and I've got myself containers and things. So it's just looking at the bigger picture. And then the 5th C, this is the first 5, the most important, the cordage. If you've got knowledge how to make natural cord out of stinging nettles and brambles and stuff, that's really good, but it does take 2 days to process it. You have to take the bone things off, dry it, air it, and then you're sitting there for a whole day weaving it and sort of lashing it up. So that's well and good if you've got ample time, but if not, you want to carry cordages along with you. Yeah, you've probably seen, I've got a wrist watch on here, and also next to it I've got some paracord. There's 8 foot of cord on my wrist. Yeah, so I've got a nice bit of cord. There's also a few redundancies as well. It's also got a knife inside it, and I've also got a ferro rod inside there as well. Another little striker. So it helps me out, wearing it all the time. It's not UK legal, I can't walk around the streets with that, so I put it on when I'm outside. I've got other ones which aren't, so I have a knife inside them. So I've got those things, or I've got other cord on me where I carry 550 paracord. I hang a paracord all the time. This one's a special one because it reflects in the dark, so I don't trip over it. It's also got wire inside there as well, which I can make snares and that out of it at the same time. It's also got wax jute twine, which I can make fire out of it as well. So that one bit of cord will cover 2 of my other little systems at the same time as well. And then we move on to the second 5. Yeah, so cotton bandana. I don't have a bandana in my bag of tricks today, but I don't like wearing them. But a bandana can also be a sling. You can turn them into slings over there, and you can see on there that there's I'm in Cyprus fighting fires, so I turn my bandana into a smoke screen. Yeah, so I didn't have to breathe all the smoke inside it. It's also using hers to keep yourself warm. But I tend to bring an orange t-shirt as my cotton bandana. But what it is on there, this is 100% cotton. And with 100% cotton, I can turn this into char cloth, which I showed you earlier on, and then I could use my ferro rod and put a spike to that, a little spark to it, and it will then combust. So I can cut on my t-shirt with extra clothing, or I can use it as slings. I can, with a water filter, I can turn this to a water filter by putting all the grass and debris and that inside it and flowing water through it. So one bit of kit is really good. And also orange is a signal for distress. Yeah, so because it's an orange t-shirt, I can cut this out, lay it on the floor, and it'll be a signal marker at the same time as well. So it's not just a piece of clothing, it now becomes a very, very useful bit of kit, which I can use when I'm out there. Yeah, the next one is the cargo tape. Bit of fun. Yeah, I tied one of my soldiers up, he annoyed me one day, he kept me awake all night. Yeah, there could be some sort of cargo tape. I don't have it in there because I've used it and I forgot to replace it. But duct tape or anything like that, yeah, I used it on here. Yeah, it's a bit of duct tape, but duct tape is really good. You can pull off the little string inside it and it makes cotton. You can use it over there. Duct tape also burns as well. It's also really good at lashing things together. Yeah, so if you run out of cordage, you could actually use that to tie things up. And the best brand now out of the market is Gorilla Tape, which has just come out. Yeah, it's 10 times stronger. My scouts, to show how strong I was, we made a boat just purely out of duct tape. Yeah, sort of a little bit of wood and duct tape. I've also seen TV programs where they actually, Mythbusters made a plane out of duct tape. Yeah, they fixed the whole fuselage and the wing just with duct tape. And I know how good it is because when I went to Iraq, a bit of the plane fell off on the wing. Yeah, when we're flying, called the pilot. Pilot came down, looked out the window, and went, "Oh yeah." Then emergency landing, went out there with a bit of duct tape, put it on the plane, took us back up and took us into Iraq. Yeah, so it's good stuff. So in a survival situation, it can be used for quite a few things, or just repairing clothing, or using as first aid equipment, rapid and compression bandages, along with my t-shirt. Yeah, it's like I like compression bandages. So again, really, really good bits of kit on there. And then some sort of navigational aid, so compass. So I've got my little button compass on my wrist all the time. I also have, not in this bag, I've just left it somewhere. I've just used it. Yeah, I carry a silver compass, which is another bit of kit. So I've got my main compass, my silver compass. I've also got my backup compass. I've also got the knowledge that I know in the Northern Hemisphere, moss doesn't grow on the northern side of trees. So if I look at trees and there's a load of moss on trees, if it's not on one side, it means I'm facing north. It's a little technique, little trick over there. And also ants' nests. If you find ants' nests, they like the sun, and if it's very windy, so they face south as well. So the ants will come out south from an ant's nest, yeah, if they're building inside the woods. So little knowledge, things like that, can go a long way when you're out there. But just remember, moss doesn't grow on the northern side of trees in large quantities. It might grow on a little bit, but around the back. And then we have a thing called a cotton sail needle. Over here. Anyone know what I mean about a cotton sail needle? It's really big needles, which we use for repairing sailing boats. Yeah, sails on sails. Yeah, you don't see them often inside craft shops. They're quite big, heavy duty, or leather needles. People do leather work. These are really good because with the paracord in a cord of my paracord, I can then pull that into some string and thread that through my needle. I can then repair my buckles and that on my bags. I can repair my clothes on there. Also, if I really want to, that's my finger, which I cut myself with a knife a while ago. Stitched it up, and I've still got the scar on that finger. Oh, my finger, with a ring on. Yeah, so I've still got the scar on that finger now, where I stitched it up, which is just over the side there. So there we go, a little stitch there. Did work. Quite a nasty deep gash, yeah, but it does actually work when you're going through. So, but I've also magnetised this as well. So I've run that over a magnet. I can lay that onto water, and it also shows me north at the same time as well. So the very tip of the needle will point to north. Yeah, so again, another redundancy, but something else which I can use out of my needle. And the last one is some sort of candling device. Yeah, some way, a means of seeing. It could be a flashlight, could be a torch, could be a candle. Yeah, it could be all sorts of things where it's really ideally, but in this survival thing, you could use it for signalling, you can use it for marking, sort of on there. I think I dropped that earlier on.
That was, wasn't it? Was it?
Is it in here?
It's the last year.
Oh, there's my compass. I knew I had it in there somewhere. No. Yeah, it's over my tent. So I also carry a head torch. Yeah, out of the torches, I always prefer head torches because you've got your hands free. Yeah, so you can have the. I've also got a big lights as well, which really light up and really strong things. But the always head torch always works really well. And if you're going to get a head torch, try to get one that flashes, because flashing lights is also a sign of distress out in the woods as well. So if you can leave it as a beacon, night time, you can have a little flashing beacon, and then people can come and see you, and they know where you are. That's the sort of things. So those 10 categories, if you remember those 10 categories, if you always got something like that, maybe the first 5, you can survive anywhere in the world. You'll always be safe. Yeah, sort of on there. And I know I've proved I've done that, and it works for me. But when we're in a survival situation, something's happened, and we find out we've got to actually go somewhere, and I think, alright, I broke my ankle, it's dark now, I'm not going to be able to walk out of the woods. I might just go a local walk around the woods around here. I'm not going to be able to, can't do anything until tomorrow morning. I might think about trying to make some sort of shelter for the night, a primitive shelter. This is where we start looking at the 4 W's. The first W is the wind. Yeah, so these 4 categories can actually make you survive or kill you if you don't look at it properly. So if it's winter time in our country, wind howling down, you don't want your face to the shelter, or you're finding somewhere to hide with the wind coming towards you, because it'll cause hypothermia, yeah, frostbite, and all sorts of things, and it's also be a very unpleasant night. So you need to know the wind direction. But if you're in the desert, you need to know where the wind is to cool you down. Yeah, so you want to be facing the wind that time to cool you down during the day, but away from the wind night time because it drops below quite some temperatures. So it depends on where you are, is to know what sort of wind you're actually playing with. The next thing is you need to know where the water source is. Yeah, if you broke your ankle and you've got hardly any water with you, are you going to want to try to crawl back and forwards to the location where you are, or do you want to set your shelter up or next to the water source so you don't have to walk so far or hobble so far to find water? And is it fresh? Is it sustainable water as well? Can I boil it? Can I cook it up? The next W we need to look at is wood. Have I actually got enough wood to make fire or build any shelters, or I'm going to be stuck on a hill in the middle of nowhere and that's the only tree around? But in a survival situation that might be quite good, because if you've managed to get a message out and you're at the only prominent location, yeah, you can put a marker's buoy on that, put a flashing light on that one tree. You think, hang on, there's that one tree over there flashing. That's probably where someone is. So it's a case of where do I go? Do I go with no materials, or do I use that for my advantage? And the last one, which we put in there, it's called widow makers. Yeah, am I going to sleep somewhere? Is something going to fall down and hit me? Yeah, that's Galloway Forest. Yeah, and the trees fall down in that left, right, and centre. Yeah, one of the biggest forests in our country, but it's also one of the most dangerous ones to sleep in as well. Yeah, because there's so much rotten wood that's coming down. So when you get there, so when I find a location, you look up and think, I don't like the look of that, I'm going to go over there. Yeah, actually that's got no wind, that's got wind over there, so I might go over there. It might be a case of moving around, maybe for an hour or so, with the area where you're stuck in, until you find that place with the 4 W's. Yeah, and then you can take your 10C's and make sure they work for you. But what we want to try and do, the main aim is to try and find rescue. So in Norfolk, if you get lost or stuck or anything on here, you call 999, you generally get the police to come out. If they can't find you within the first given time frame, depending how old you are, how young you are, any mental or any illnesses, depends if they're going to come out and get you. Yeah, who's going to come? The Norfolk Lowland Search and Rescue, and they will come out and they'll start looking for you. They'll either send search dogs, they'll send drones, or they send people on foot, depending how many they can get. Sort of come around. But again, these are volunteers, they could take an hour or 2 hours to get to you. Yeah, numerous times I've been called up to King's Lynn, and I live in Norwich, yeah, to try and find someone who's fallen inside one of the danks, yeah, or ponds over there. You have to tell them by the time we get there, it's probably going to be something bad. But we go over there anyway. But you want to be trying to be seen. So when you're out there, that's when if you've got anything orange, sort of in your kit, I always carry my ground mat, which is nice, bright and orange. Yeah, these are the new ones out now, so people that are getting quite used quite a lot now. So you got they either come in orange or green, so they can be seen. And on the other side, they're also reflective as well. Yeah, so you can keep yourself warm, sort of on there, and you also got a big massive orange panel sort of coming on. But what I tend to do with these as well, with my duct tape, I put 3 crosses. There's a symbol here, but I've never seen I use 3 quite regularly. Yeah, because 3 quite regularly survival and bushcraft is actually signs of distress. So I've placed 3 crosses on my orange top and laid that in the middle of the floor. So when the helicopters or the drones come over, they'll see a big orange panel, and if they see 3 crosses on it, they know yes, you are definitely distressed. Sort of coming over there. Or we look at 3 fires. Yeah, if we do things in threes, we have 3 fires, but in a triangle. So you'd have one at the top and one at the bottom over there. So again, triangle is a sign of distress. And you can put the 3 fires on the apex. Daytime, you want them to smoke, so you put wet foliage on them, so you get stuff under there which you know is going to burn straight away. So it could be your shoes, the soles of the shoes burn really lightly. Yeah, so cut them off. Bit of dry grass sort of in there, and then put some wet foliage on top, and that will smoke. So in daytime you see black smoke. You can see it for miles. Yeah. During the night time you want light, so take the smoking agents off and put big flying, lots of flammable stuff, quick burning stuff. Yes, lots of kindling to make massive fires. You get 3 of those, and you'll be seen for miles on one of them at the same time. That's the sort of things you need to start thinking of. Or you get the flashing lights, the beacons going over, the strobes. They flash 3, 3, 3, and they wait a bit and they go 3, 3, 3. A bit like Morse code, dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. Or if you've got some sort of other signalling device, on this again, another bit of kit, as a whistle. Yeah, so I've always got a whistle on board with me as well, so I can blow my whistle 3 times, and wait for a response. Yeah, so beep, 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 and I'll wait 1 minute. Yeah, if I hear a response, it's usually one whistle. Say they've heard me, then I'll blow my whistle again, and we keep doing that every minute until both people are caught up with each other. Yeah, because it gives people the idea and the signal. So whistles are really, really good at showing the distress sort of on there. But the main aim is, if you are trying to do rescue, is stay put when you can. Yeah, only move from that location if that location doesn't fit the 4 Ws. Yeah, it's often danger there. So you need, or you can't be seen or can't be found. Yeah, because there might be too much wood where you can't be seen. So you need to get to an area of clearing where you can be found. Also, if you're calling for rescue, yeah, know what sort of types of rescue you're going to have. So if you're near the coastline, you can see the coast guard, and there'll be the river, the sea. So you might want to get yourself nearer to the coast so you can be seen over there. If you're inland in the mountains, it'll be the mountain rescue. If you're inland like we are now, lots of dense woodline, you wouldn't have a helicopter coming after you. Yeah, if you're seeing, because there'd be too much woodland, there'd be people on foot. But if you can get a load of black smoke up through the trees, that sort of gives people some idea that you might be over there, sort of on there. Because even the heat sensors don't work inside trees. Yeah, so the police cameras, yeah, if you want to hide big thick trees, they can't find you. They didn't tell you that. But also, worry about the underclothing you've got as well. That girls, we like to dress our girls in pink. Your naked eye through green trees can't see pink. Yeah, so if you're going out wearing lots of pink, that you're going to get blended in. The only thing is the army doesn't like us walking around in pink, so that's why our camouflage is in pink. Yeah, some sort of signals. We talked about all the signal devices we could use. And then the signs, yeah, just putting down. So the last thing is, if you have got to move from a location and you've tried to give someone where you are, think about letting that person know where you're going to go. Yeah, so arrows on the floor. Yeah, a nice simple arrow. I did meant to bring a sheet out tracking sign, but I did forget. It's in my tent down there, everyone wants to see them. But they're simple arrows made out of all different materials. It could be grass, it could be sticks, it could be stone. Just to say that you were here and I've walked off in that direction. Yeah, so if someone comes to find the place where you were, they get the grid reference, they know where you were because your phones have GPS on them. Yeah, so as soon as you've gone 999, they generally know exactly where you are before you even told them where you are. Yeah, and you can then go off and find, they'll find your location and they will then go off walking that way. If you change direction, just put another arrow sort of over there just to let people know where you actually are going. There's lots of good games you can play with them. And that is basically it for the survival sort of thing. It's all about knowing your thing, keeping yourself calm, understanding your environment you're in, and take that time. Yeah, we call it the time out period or the soak period. That something's happened, yeah, I need to think about something to do it, but if you rush into it straight away, you're going to make the situation worse. Yeah, so take that 2-3 minutes. Yes, you won't be in agony. Do the first aid, treat yourself first. Yeah, I always carry lots of first aid equipment with me. I carry first field dressings, I carry tourniquets, yeah, sort of around all the time. I carry tough shears, I carry strong bandages to make sort of stuff over there. But that's me because I'm trained as a paramedic. Yes, but if you haven't got those skills, they're quite nice to carry those, and you can improvise and sort of come around. But all this sort of stuff I've talked about today is briefly over briefly. I show it all on my YouTube channels. I've actually got a YouTube channel designed to teach adults how to teach children. Yeah, sort of come on there because I'm conscious that a lot of these skills are getting lost with the older generation now, and not a lot of it is being passed through, sort of coming down. Yeah, especially in schools, they're trying to do these forest school sort of things now, but they're trying to get it back in. But my aim is to try to get people like ourselves who are interested in these sort of things, come to these events, the knowledge to go out there, and I teach people how to do it. And I Instagram and sort of tweet sort of all my findings. There's free of charge to look at that. You don't need to do a course. Yeah, because I teach you the whole thing from start to finish of what you need to do for that given situation. But I did say at the start that all that stuff in that bag will probably come to, including the bag, comes to nearly £300. There's a lot of stuff for somebody to carry around all the time. But me and my son, who's sitting in the front there, done a video on YouTube in conjunction with Poundland in Norwich. I got permission from the head office main people to film inside the shop and actually, can I do a 10C's kit inside Poundland? Yeah, and I did. And that is the contents of the kit. So all of the 10C's I talked about are inside here. So we've got, in the front, we've got that Poundland knife we talked about. So he's got his Poundland knife, so the cutting implement, he's got it in there. And we've used this, we've done a video on it, we've actually gone out in the woods and tested it. Yeah. So we've got the knife. You remember the next one was? No. So you had cutting. Yeah, it's the next one. Combustion. Yeah, so inside here, for £1, inside Poundland, yeah, we had a metal tin, which is also a container, which also came with a lighter, and it also came with paper at the same time. So I had tinder, a container, and a lighter, all for £1. Yeah, so we had the next thing on there. Then we had cover, so tarp, nice little tarp. We had container. Yeah, I had a frying pan. I also had a metal bottle, which is non-insulated, which you can put this on the fire as well. So I had two things, a redundancy sort of thing in there. Cordage. Yeah, we had some, he's got a paragraph, oh there it is. Yeah, we had some tarp line, but they also had 4 packs of jute twine, which is for 99 for £1. And that was 240 metres of cord, of twine, which if you know how to tie it properly, you can turn that small little bit of garden twine into rope. Yeah, so something to say, but he wanted this for this time. Yeah, so we had them in there. We had the cordage. We also had for the cloth sail needle, little first aid, little kit. So instead of a big needle, we've got little needles for £1. Had cotton and threads inside there. The cargo tape. Yeah, so for £1 again, we had some duct tape, which is going for a t-shirt as well. I had to spend a little bit more. It was £2. Yeah, you lie. You know these shops, these lies, don't they? Say everything £1. You go in there, you get caught at the till. Well, I swear that's £1, but actually no, that's £2. It's sale, so it's better to be £3. So we got it over there. So you got the cloth t-shirt, and I tried to get the biggest t-shirt possible. He's really small, but this one is drowning because it's going to last a long time and do lots of stuff inside there. And then we had his head torch as well. I think I'll take the batteries out of this one. Yeah, I have. Yeah. Yeah, so we got the head torch again, £1, and it flashes as well. So we had that for £1. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, that's it. There's the other one. But this one doesn't work either. No. And there's all sorts of stuff. Yeah, we had everything inside there. Then we also managed to get other stuff. We had plastic bags, tarps, toothbrushes. I even managed to find a first aid kit in Poundland for £1. Yeah. Yeah. The case itself was just as good, and it had plasters, bandages, all sorts of stuff. So I had everything inside there. So all that came to like £13. Everything on this table came from Poundland. Yeah, so you don't have to go out and spend hundreds of pounds on your equipment if you just want to have stuff sewn at the back of cars or sort of coming over there to actually go around itself. But that's it from me. If anyone's got any questions, hang on there. I've got a little leaflet on the table, so if you want to see any more sort of stuff or understand any more stuff, or want to speak to me later on, I'm down in the stand with the tents and the tarps. F on the maps, I think it is. Sort of on there itself. But thank you very much for being the guys' audience.
Thank you.
And hopefully you never have to use it.